Welcome to another day in the Matrix, Waters Above Crypto. I hope everyone enjoyed that full moon energy last night. For those of you that were able to see the lunar eclipse, let us know in the comments section. So today I'll be going over the Bitcoin and XRP charts and also the DXY US dollar currency index as well as the 10-year yield because the trading week for the traditional markets is closing tomorrow and I feel that these are some significant things to touch on. And I will not be making a video tomorrow morning. Sorry about that. But good news is I'll be doing a live stream later that night. So for anyone who wants to hang out with me for a little tomorrow, I'll be doing a live stream here on YouTube around 6 p.m. Eastern time zone, so you'll know where to find me. And later today, I'll be making a video for my Mastermind course going over how to set up the moon cycles indicator the way that I do on my charts, since I had so many people reaching out to me about yesterday's video. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with the esoteric science of Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. If you haven't already subscribed and you like what we're doing here, feel free to subscribe. Give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. And just a reminder, I'm running a sale until the end of the month on my Mastermind course. For those of you who want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. There's a promo code in the pinned comment below with instructions to get lifetime access to the course with a discount. My email's in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And that sale is live for the next 4 days. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So, first things first, just a little recap of yesterday's video. We have the weekly close coming up in some days, and we're getting a lot of pressure on this 34 EMA for the Bitcoin chart. Again, if Bitcoin decides to enter a bear market, that means every other crypto enters a bear market. So right now is really crucial to be paying attention to the Bitcoin chart, especially if you're heavily invested in altcoins, because if Bitcoin peels back 30%, 40%, your altcoins will peel back 70 to 80%. So this is almost our market compass, if you will. And again, yesterday I was talking about this red moving average, which is the 34 exponential on the weekly chart. We need to get a closure above that, which also corresponds with the 236 fib pulling from the all-time high down to the swing low of the crash that happened on May 19th. Another really important thing to consider is this 8 EMA on the monthly chart. And in bull runs, whenever we close below the 8 on a monthly, that's the end of the bull run. So again, staying above this 37,000 is crucial, and any price below this 32 on a monthly closure is absolutely the end of a bull run. So a closure below February candle body, you could expect this whole market to pretty much evaporate. So I'm starting with the bad news because that's the red pill, and now we'll move into some of the more positive stuff. So what I would really like to see, honestly, is a monthly closure above 40K. And I will be doing videos between now and then, so it's all good. You know, we'll keep on track with this, but this is like just the most important thing to consider at this time. But we were talking about the moon cycles indicator and how crucial that is. So let me pull that up really quickly and turn everything off. I'll put this on logarithmic. And basically what we're seeing is every single time we have a new moon, we have a high price, and every time we have a full moon, we have a low price, and we just had our full moon last night, which was indicated by a low price. So you can see right there, full moon corresponds with the low, and then a new moon corresponds with the high. Full moon corresponds with the low of this structure. New moon corresponds with the high. Again, so what I am anticipating is that moving into June 10th, which will be the next new moon, we will be expecting a higher price. And this curve that you're seeing has been a really good indicator of how that price will go. So I'll just mark really quickly on June 10th where that price will be, which is around here. It'll be bashing into this curve around this 47,500 price. So that would tell me that we can move into there over the next weeks. And then the full moon being somewhere around this time zone here, and you could pretty much expect it might pull back into there. Now, I don't expect it to be creating a new lower low in the structure unless we get the monthly close below the 8 EMA. That would be really weird though, because typically the way bull runs end is you have a massive sell-off and then you have a second chance. So this moving up into this is not only correlating with the moon cycles indicator, it's correlating with this curve, and it's also correlating with the fact that we had one of the biggest sell-offs in cryptocurrency history. So almost everything tells me that we're gonna move up between now and then. Bullish energy until the middle of June. And then, of course, as options expiries and everything come into the end of June, we'll get a little bit of a pullback, but I don't expect anything significant. So one other thing that I was playing around with was some Gematria. Thought it might be valuable for you guys. So the word new moon plugged into the Gematria calculator is amazing because it matches perfectly with Jupiter. So again, you guys know the way that I do Gematria here. I don't generate words. So I don't type in a word and then press match and then look for all the shit that matches up with it. That is not Gematria. You don't go to like Gematrix website and type in a word and then it starts pulling up like XRP to the moon. That's not Gematria. Okay, so stop doing that. And from now on, make bigger connections here, which I believe will have to do with mythology. So that's Greek and Roman mythology. Start studying Tartaria, start studying your past history and the truth of your realm, and then you'll be able to find out how Gematria really works, because that's the number system that's encoded into our reality. So to decode things, you don't just type in a word and press match and get, all these numbers to correlate. You actually have to find their significance. And I'll show you a perfect example of that right now. So you see Jupiter matches, when I scroll down, 99s, 36s, 90s, and then we have the 27s, right? So this is insane how well. And then what day is June 10th, the date of the next new moon? Okay, June 10th, 2021 is on a Thursday. Okay, so Thursday or Thorsday, which is Jupiter. So in Spanish being jueves. So the day of Jupiter happening on the new moon. And new moon matches with Jupiter in basically all the ciphers. So again, also we have a little bit of an extra thing to add here with the 39, because that shows up in eclipse. Okay, you have the 39 right there. And the eclipse will be happening on that new moon on June 10th. So there'll be a solar eclipse. And then another thing that's really interesting is you have that 69 right there, like June 9th, which will be the transition date into that eclipse. This stuff is incredible, guys. This is how you actually do it. You don't just type in a word and press match and get all this nonsense and then go, yeah, look at that. It's proving my confirmation bias. No, that's not how it works, all right? So I'm just saying that right now to like get that out of the way, because my comment section is bogged down with people who just type in a random coin and then press match, and then it says like the New World Order is gonna kill my baby or whatever. Like that's not that's not how you do Gematria. So with that being said, I think that this is a perfect example of how well all this stuff matches. So we have the new moon matching with Jupiter on all the ciphers, of course, that being on a Thursday, which is the day of Jupiter. Then again, we have eclipse matching with the 39s on new moon, which will be the solar eclipse. And then we also have the 69, which will match because of June 9th, transitioning into June 10th, which will be the new moon. Okay, so that's your little decode for now. And a couple other things to talk about on Bitcoin before we move into XRP will be the MACD cross, potentially bullish. Let me just clear this off my chart. So if you look right down here, we have the MACD crossing very nice to the upside. It looks like it wants to get that blue above the orange, which will be a bullish cross. Histogram will flip green. And then also you have new higher lows on the RSI. So if I zoom in right here, you could see low, higher low, and that's showing me that there's some potential here for just more bullish momentum. I would still expect, though, that we get a lower high in regards to this structure right here. I mean, this is clear bearish. And the fact that we're probably only going to move up into this range of the 47, maybe as high as 50, 51, that's, it's just going to be another lower high. So until we actually get a high above this structure over here around 60K, we're basically still creating lower highs. And that means that the trend is still downtrend. And I don't expect this to give us any clarity probably until September. So this is actually really good timing for me to start developing a trading course. I've been having a lot of people talk, about wanting to trade and how to. And my mastermind course does go over the theory of investment thesis and how to do technical analysis. So you need that first before you start getting into trading. You need to actually learn all of the technicals before you can start like leverage trading, especially. That shit is super risky. And one of the things that worries me is a lot of these bigger YouTubers out there keep shilling opening up Bybit accounts and Femex accounts because you'll be able to get the $1,000 bonus. And it's like, what they're not telling you is these exchanges make so much money off of the fact that 95% of leverage traders lose. So I am heavily against leverage trading, even though I do it, but I do it because I'm a professional. I've been, I've grown accounts over one full Bitcoin. So I've made a substantial amount of gains trading the Satoshi pair on the US dollar. So I'm not saying that to brag or anything, but what I'm mentioning is the fact that a lot of these people that follow these YouTube channels, they see these guys driving around Lamborghinis and shit, and they think that they're just going to be able to buy their course and start, like women will just show up in their life. But that's not how it goes. You need to learn proper technical analysis, and you need to start learning more of these esoteric things like the moon cycles, basic astrology, gematria. This way you could be able to understand and not just be this guy who's like throwing down trades, losing 5 trades and winning 1, and then going, yeah, I did it. So I don't know. I'm thinking about developing a trading course that'll be based on risk management, it'll be based on preserving wealth, and it'll be based on how to get through this next 100 to 200 days in this bull run, which might be very boring and sideways and choppy, but that's the perfect time to learn. It's hard to learn when everything is inflated in prices because they can send this market in a quick correction. But once you've had a really massive sell-off, it's not in the favor of the New World Order to keep pumping this to the downside. They have a bigger plan here. They have a bigger agenda. So this run-up was to get FOMO in. This boredom here of this curve was to get people to get into shit coins because that was shitcoin mania. And then at that time, what they do is they sink the market, get retail almost completely washed away. Then you had this Sunday washout on the 23rd. That was 100% retail weak hands giving up their coins, and then they send it to the upside. What's going to happen is on Friday, tomorrow, everyone's going to get their paychecks, and they're going to FOMO back in over the weekend, probably push us up into these, these ranges again. Just letting you know how it goes, guys. So if we can understand when the energy is bullish or the energy is bearish, the best time to trade and learn how to trade is when the energy is neutral. Okay? So now with that said, let's move on to XRP. Some very interesting things going on in XRP, but the long and short of it, I'm going to remove these moon cycles. I'm going to bring up some of these moving averages. Okay. So what I'm really liking about this chart actually is the fact that it has held support on this 200 and this other 200. So we have down here the 200 simple, and then we have the 200 EMA. And you can see right here very, very clearly that we got to bounce perfectly down to that 200 simple. So a lot of people in crypto land, they don't like using the simple moving averages because that's like a Forex thing or that's a traditional markets thing. But I've actually noticed that the simples do work. I use simples on my 55 and my 8 most of the time, and then I use EMAs for my 34, 21, 13, and another 200. And you can see when these simples, the way they react, it was perfect wick bottom. And then look at that right there, perfect support on the candle body closures. So if this can hold on the 200 EMA with candle closes, I'm really bullish on this, but it's going to be sideways. And the reason I know it's going to be sideways is because of this cross. You see this, let me remove the other moving averages that are kind of bogging up making it lots of static. So you see this yellow crossing below this white. So that's the 8 exponential getting crossed bearish below the 55. That's not good, guys. That's a sign of, downtrend is in the making. So of course we had that massive sell-off, but we did see a nice bounce off of that. And we're seeing multiple daily closures above this 236, like I've been telling you guys to watch out for months now. So this XRP is going to look like a stable coin for a while. Like, I don't say that out of disrespect, but it's literally going to hover around this $1 range until we start to see Bitcoin pump to the upside. So as long as Bitcoin is every altcoin is reacting to Bitcoin, which it clearly is, Bitcoin remaining sideways and boring and losing dominance will allow alts to pump. But when Bitcoin pumps, it could create a new structure and a new energy for the space. So that's something to keep in mind, because that's the institutional power behind this game. There's no institutional power behind XRP. I know that might hurt some people's feelings, but that is the truth, all right? So with options expiry tomorrow, I do see that open interest is high, and that pump up could bring XRP into this like 115, maybe as high as 130. But I think there's going to be way too much resistance around this 120, 130 area. It's going to take a lot of juice to get it above. But you know how XRP is. It could just have this massive melt to the upside candle. I just don't see it happening. Perhaps in the 23rd week of the year we might see that, but as of right now, I just think it's going to be around $1. Another thing to look at is MACD is boring. It's just flat. And then, well, it's flat and also severely down. And then the RSI is below 50. Okay, so that's two signs of boring, bearish. And you have the cross of the 8 and the 55, as well as all of these key moving averages above, bearish. Bearish and like basically sideways until you create a higher high in the structure, which would be a 173 XRP. That's a lot of juice though. We're going to take a little time to get there. And I think that'll most likely be cleared up sometime by the fall. So XRP and Bitcoin are what I use as my compass for how this whole market works, and also the dollar index. Going over that because a lot of people ask, why do I focus on XRP and Bitcoin? I'm telling you right now, like there's an axis here, like a trinity, and the trinity is Bitcoin, XRP, and the dollar currency index. I think this video is going to create a lot of clarity for people, especially if you take this seriously and then go look at the charts. Go look at the XRP, Bitcoin, and DXY charts and just study those like a madman, and you will get much, much, much better at your investment thesis. So I believe this will go sideways until Bitcoin pumps above 45 to even 50,000. And if it could go that high, then you probably see XRP get back into this golden pocket range. Let's look at the dollar index, like I said, before this video gets a little long. So a couple things going on right here. We see that this chart is bearish. Very bearish. If I zoom out, it's just been on a non-stop downtrend since the March crash of last year. Bad. But good for us, right? Because we have shorted the dollar by entering cryptocurrency. So the big short is by selling your dollars, selling your fiat for crypto. Particularly good cryptos and not a bunch of shit coins. But anyways, so we have this support here. We have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, and then it just fell through. And then right here, it tried to pull back in, but that rejection off this 13 EMA on the daily was textbook. Beautiful. We could see it pump back in, but I don't think it's going to be able to make it past this 34 EMA. Excuse me. So with that being said, this is like as bearish as it could get. You have the 200s above, the white above everything, a big far space between the 8 and the white. Like I told you earlier, when that yellow crosses below the white, it's bearish. You see what's going on here, guys? This is a solid downtrend. If I hide everything, you'll see how stuck in this downtrend this thing is. You could probably even draw a support line like this. It's getting pretty close though. So what I see happening is anything above 90 is going to create a little pressure for all the cryptos because you can see this cluster of trading around this 90. It's like it doesn't want to get down there. But once it closes a daily below this red line right here, let me zoom this and bring it into the middle of the screen so you could get a better picture. Once it can close below this red trend line, that's game over, and this is headed to 88, and that would be like all of us will have a fucking party when that day happens, because this will be so bullish for cryptocurrencies. So until it can get below this red line, it'll continue to chop, and the stock market will remain, kind of stabilized for the most part. But these 200s so high above and that last rejection around the 200s, that's a huge sign of this being very bearish. And I believe that another thing we could look at is the MACD, which although it's flipped bullish, we've seen this before where it flips bullish for like 1 or 2 trading days and then just takes another shit. And yeah, it's textbook. Again, also look at all that resistance around 43 on the RSI. This thing can't get above 50 RSI for its life. Clearly the New World Order has been making this weaker and weaker. I know the Chinese yuan's gaining strength versus the dollar. Again, it's like two shit coins battling each other. Who's the better shit coin? I don't know, and I don't care because I'm shorting the dollar. Every time I get more dollars, I start to think about where I could put those dollars, so those dollars are working for me. Again, that's a mindset thing that people need to transition into. So this 10-year yield is a little interesting. I just wanted to show you guys this really quickly because I'm seeing a trend line break. So this chart looks ridiculous. This thing was perfectly moving up in a straight line, and you can see this right here where we broke below it, and now we're coming up into it. And I believe if we get a rejection off this trend line and then peel down to create a new lower low, which would be indicated by right here at 150, that would be a sign. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to head out. I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.